Hey everyone, this is Bridget, and today I wanted to talk to you about discernment. Now, discernment is so deep, so important, and it first starts with ourselves, because if we don't know our own intuition, if we don't know our own inner voice, and what is actually determining what we're doing, then we are completely living through others' intentions and just pretty much ants. And the funny thing is that as this is kind of a stream of consciousness talk right now, but really almost everything is programmed that we're doing. I mean, pretty much everything. So the idea is to deprogram and to take off the layers of all the things that we've been taught by our schools, by our governments, by our parents some of the time, by our religions, all of these things. It's like peeling away the layers. And a lot of you know the bullshit. So we can, scoot that aside. But as we're moving out of the things that are just obviously retarded, we are going to arrive at this kind of refined attunement, especially as we expand our consciousness. We're going to come into contact with kind of the next playing field, the next level of the game. And this could be with interdimensional beings, this could be, say, like with the government, this could be with all sorts of things. And so we're going to need to know what we do in that situation, like which direction do I go, and how do I know if this is right or if it's not. Now, if you're watching this and if you've peeled through some of those layers, you know the first things that are kind of obvious. So we have the first attunement of the bullshit. But the next step is really attuning our intuitions. So there's going to be things that are going to come up. In our world, there's going to be these moments. There's going to be these moments where we are given an opportunity. Say someone wants to do a business transaction with us. We're going to be given that moment to go yes or no, and we're going to have to discern whether we want to do it or not. We might be given the opportunity to take serums to extend our life or to save us from a virus, and we're going to have to go yeah or no. And we're going to be given guidance from interdimensional beings saying, you need to do this to save the world, and we're going to have to say yes or no. And some of the time when we're given these opportunities, first and foremost, we're kind of given this power position. And I think that would be the first place to begin, because any offness that's going to take us in a, say, wrong direction with this discernment is really because we're not aligned with our true selves. So the first thing that we need to attune to is our intuition. So the more we can align to our natural, intrinsic selves is going to be key, and listen to that inner voice. Now, that inner voice can be a lot of different voices if we haven't refined it. It might be the voice of the ego. It might be the voice of power. So it's like, what voice is that? Is that voice like for my highest good? Is that voice for my highest good that wants that paycheck? Is that voice of something that's actually wanting power through this being? So it's saying, where is this voice actually coming from? And is this right for my highest good? And so checking in with that. And the first thing is to check in, because some of the time things are just moving so quickly in our lives, or cool opportunities come up, or this thing is all of a sudden kind of thrown with immediacy into our life. What do we do? And so first and foremost, we take a moment, we take a breath. And when we take this breath, we know that we're on. We know that the first step is taken care of. We're on because we're taking a moment of pause. And if something is in alignment with you, if it's in alignment with your highest good, we have all eternity to have these opportunities. Now, there's a timing, there's a precision, and there's things that sometimes we need to do, in a certain way. But for the most part, there's always a moment to take a pause. And there's always a moment to question and take a bit of time. And a lot of times with these different situations that'll arise, there's an urgency to it. There's like, you need to do this now. You need to choose this now. And that's the first sign. No. This isn't a good situation. If there's urgency, it's probably not a good thing. Now, urgency can come in two forms. Urgency can come from the outside, and urgency can come from the inside. If there's something in you that's like, no, this isn't a good situation, and there's urgency coming from within, then act immediately, of course, go. Nothing's going to happen that's bad if you're moving away from it instantly. So if it's you saying that it's urgent, that's okay. If it's something outside saying you need to do this immediately, that's the first sign to be like, wait, no I don't. Like, there's nothing really that important from the outside that you need to do that immediately. You can take a moment of pause. And in that moment of pause, what you're wanting to do is then tune into your intuition. And if there's something, say, negative on the outside saying to do something quickly, one of the reasons that it's saying to do it quickly is because then you can't listen. You can't tune in to your inner self. So aligning to that inner voice and going, does this feel right? Are there any red flags? Like, what is the deeper meaning of this? And also taking that moment to kind of like smile with it, to be like, okay, this isn't this serious. Whatever this is, in the greater scheme of things, it's okay. Like, it's okay if I don't take this opportunity. It's okay if I don't, like, listen to this being. It's like, it's okay, to... And then the third thing is the message that wherever this thing is coming from, this thing that you're discerning, is this thing for the highest good of yourself and the highest good of, like, the universal knowledge, like universal being? Is it something that's for the good of all? Because if it's something that's not, it might be for the good of a certain group. It might be for the good of you and a certain person, a certain being, but is it for the good of all? And of course, there's certain categories where something that a small group does is good, of course, for everyone, but is it really by the standards, by the values that are going to universally be inherently good? And if it's something that's going in a negative direction to then go good, we've seen too many movies. We know that that's actually not true, and it ends up going in a bad direction. So we know that we want to stay for the good of all and refine from that direction. Now, let's get a little bit more into specifics. So, if we're talking about the government or institutions or business transactions, okay, most of what we're interacting with is actually like totally deceitful, and you can use discernment to be like, yeah, obviously pretty much everything's messed up. So it's obvious, and in that way you can be in this position of power, and you can be like, okay, I know that it's all a joke. Like, I know that credit's a joke. I know that taxes are a joke. So you can kind of stand back and feel that prowess as you make these decisions and go on. As we're working now with interdimensional beings and with these like higher powers, it gets a little bit more tricky, because we're like, well, aren't they like going to help us? Aren't they like maybe smarter than me or more advanced than me, higher vibration than me? And it gets a little bit more tricky in that category. And the way that I like to do it, again, is with the timing, is like, is there something that's like pushing me to go in a certain direction? Or is the main message, the main thing, I want to support you in your highest good for the love of all, in peace, in wholeness, in the good of humanity, in the good of earth, in the good of all? Is that the message, like, of compassion, of love? Is that what they're delivering? Is that what they're wanting? Or is there things that, is there an agenda? Is there something behind it? And allowing this time to build a relationship is a good way of doing it. Now, man, just starting to interact with beings and send out consciousness and wanting to connect, I wouldn't recommend. First and foremost, I would start right here. And find certain healers, find people that can guide you, can teach you. And that's a whole other discernment of like who actually is aligned with the good. There's a lot of ayahuasca shamans that are opening all sorts of crazy portals. So you have to take a level of discernment to start the discernment training. But really getting trained in the spiritual training. And I have a video about this down below. I'll put the name of it right here so you can go look at this. But actually doing your spiritual training, everyone needs to have some level of it, because we're going to be working on such interdimensional levels with different beings, with different entities, with different ETs, all sorts of things. And so to have a basic understanding of what you're listening to, of what's coming in and what's creating this input is going to be so important. So, okay, so you're starting with yourself and then connecting with your guides, connecting with the angels, guardian angels around you, just starting with that and asking for the purest light, the purest clarity of what that energy is around you to start to connect with you. And they're always around you, they're always sending messages, but just so that you can start to feel and distinguish that energy. And then as you begin to distinguish and feel that energy and trust that and know that they have your back, you know that they have your highest good, then it's like, okay, connecting with your ancestors, connecting in with that lineage behind you and going, okay, now I know that energy, I know that they have my highest good. So it's starting with the ones that do have your highest good in mind. And then as you do that, you'll start to begin to feel the different strains of energy, which are very distinct. And you'll be like, okay, now I can feel that, star system, this other incarnation that I have from Sirius that's supporting me. Okay, now I can feel this. And so then when something comes in, you can be like, okay, I know that that's positively oriented. I know that's negatively oriented. Oh, I can feel and distinguish these different energies. So that's the best way to start. Okay, most importantly, always ask for help and assistance from other people that you trust if you don't know. If there's any situation where it's like, no, you need to keep this a secret. This is only for you. This is only between us. This is, kind of this exclusive energy in whatever situation, that's a red flag right there that's not good. And so always find that group in your tribe, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, a loved one, whoever it is that you truly trust, and maybe even ask a few people and be like, what do you think about this? And throw it out to them, and then you'll get that immediate feedback. And if you get that feedback and it's like, yeah, that feels good, okay, good, okay, that works. One, if you even have to ask, there's something interesting about it. But also if you get that feedback and it's like, no, that's not feeling good, and then you react, then you know that you're kind of like already in the web. So it's really important to always ask for help and ask with people that you trust for their discernment too. It's good to spread it out so that you can get different feedback and know if it's a really good direction to go in. And of course this goes into much deeper stuff, but that's just a first taste of some ways that you can begin to discern what's for your highest good, what's not, how to make decisions, because things are going to come up. Things are going to start to get a little bit crazy at times, and there's going to be these moments. There's going to be these moments where you're going to choose and maybe have to choose fast. But of course, if you're choosing quickly, you're the one choosing, not someone else. And you're going to be amazing. You're going to do great. And the key is just to stay grounded, to stay clear, and follow your intuition. So if you like videos like this, please share, comment below, and subscribe. And I'll be back probably next Tuesday with another video because I'm getting really inspired on this channel. I have a master download about the hybridization program that's been coming through and I want to share. So I'll see you next week.